welcome to another TRE session. Here we have a long one, but I've sped up the video, so it's about 9 minutes of footage here. But in reality, it was about 25 minutes of tremoring. Definitely a long one for me. And starting with my hands up. And let's see how this one goes. It's a bit calmer this time than the previous videos. Having a hard time getting into it today, and that happens sometimes. And for me it was kind of frustrating or not frustrating, just a bit disorienting, I'd say, to not have as vigorous tremors. And we have to be ready for that and be true to what the body's doing, rather than to what our idea of the session should look like. So here we go with the speed on about 3x, and you can see I'm not tremoring super vigorously. There are times, but generally not. And you know, advanced practitioners talk about at a certain point, after years of tremoring very regularly, the tremors just turn into a fine sort of vibration. So there are phases, and eventually it's permanent, where you're not having vigorous tremors. And in the first, year or two, of consistent regular tremoring, there's gonna be phases like that. And our job is to be true to our body, not what our mind's expectation is. And it should also be noted that you might not have vigorous tremors like I often do, or you might have them very rarely. You might have mostly leg tremors. There's a very well-known practitioner, one of the early ones. I'm forgetting her name now, but I think she's Italian. She invented neurogenic yoga. She was like one of the first dozen or so practitioners that were certified. This is in the 80s or 90s. And she said that she almost exclusively gets them in her legs. She has gentle spinal ones, and obviously she's been doing it for decades. She said she never really had vigorous tremors in the upper body. So here you see I am crossing my arms. It just felt like it. It just felt like that was the thing to do, and then once I did it, there was like, ooh, this is something. So there's all sorts of creative positions you can experiment with. This was a good one for me today. And notice my head is turned. That felt really right too. I like to do the same on one side that I do on the other, but this time it looks like I didn't turn my head to the left. Looks like it was just on the right this time. You might find that you have one side that gets looser than the other. I certainly do. I have major asymmetry in my body before tremoring, and it's reflective in the tremoring for me too. One side keeps getting looser and the other's lagging behind, and I don't worry about it too much. I trust that all will get ironed out in the end. I do my best to do any position on both sides though. Like here you see I have this position where my hips are rotated, and in a while I switch. And I don't really want to switch. This one feels really good, but that can exacerbate the asymmetry if I don't pay a little bit of attention and switch. I don't go fully with what the body wants. I pay attention. I let my mind guide a little bit to do similar movements on both sides. But again, I have serious asymmetries. Maybe you won't. Had some big, the diaphragm's going way up. My sternum, rib cage is going way up. I'm playing a bit with breath here. I haven't talked about that yet, but TRE can bring on a sort of breath work, led by the body, not led by some protocol. It might be right here. I'm holding my breath, and I'm not doing it with effort. It's just that I exhaled, and the body doesn't want to breathe for a long time. And then when I inhale again and then exhale again, I'm deeply relaxed, and my breathing rate slows tremendously for the next few minutes. And that's what feels best. I'm following the body. Looks like I'm not breathing at all here. I'm following the sense of, how do we put it, nervous system well-being. Nervous system ground zero, that's what I like. Ground zero, let me exist at ground zero of my nervous system. You see, TRE helps us get to ground zero, or turn down all the tension in our system, sort of like a string. Let's say a guitar string. I'm a guitarist, and if I detune my guitar strings all the way, they're totally slack. And when I pluck them, they won't make a sound because there's no tension on them. They don't vibrate. So that's what we're going for with TRE, is to slacken our nervous system tone so much that when people trigger us, when events trigger us, we don't have any stored tension to react with. And so we don't get triggered, we don't react based on past trauma or tension. We can respond accordingly. We can experience life just plucked my guitar string, so to speak. I can feel that, and it's a signal, and now I can choose what I do here, which is absolutely incredible. So here I'm kind of spreading my chest, spreading my pecs from the sternum outward. Now, not with a lot of force, but it just feels right to do. I did a lot of back arching in this session, and it feels like my chest wanted to spread, my rib cage. So always tune in, and you don't even have to hear that instruction. You don't have to hear me say it. You're gonna be guided eventually, but it's nice to know it's an option and you can look out for it and enter into that opportunity when it comes up. To hold a hand over a certain place, move your fingers over your body a certain way, feel your sensation, maybe do some energy work like hover your hand over a place. TRE opens, just like the breath work I was mentioning, TRE opens these pathways that exist as completely different modalities on their own. TRE can naturally open us and lead us into those areas without actually learning them or training in them, so to speak. And here I turn off the camera and just continue down regulating and integrating. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.